Masters Clash! We're continuing with Playday number 1. We got another best of 5 Heroes of the Storm match in this tournament on our hands, or in this league. We got Inting for Ruby going up against the Team Arthas today. ArthasStroitHram, which means Arthas is building a temple. That bad boy has been building a temple for a long time, and I want to say that Arthas is a little bit lazy, because after years and years of building that temple, he's still not done. It's kind of crazy. Now, we got our Chromie ban. We also have the ban on Medivh as we're heading into this. Again, this is Playday number 1, and as I already explained in some of the earlier videos during the Playday, I'm going to use this background right now for the regular season of the Masters Clash. We're done with all the qualifiers. All of them are completed. We have our 8 teams that are participating in the regular season. The regular season will last 14 weeks in total, and we're going to have live matches every Saturday and Sunday evening at 6 o'clock Berlin time, CEST. So, well, with that being a first pick, since Varian has been banned out, we're gonna find out what they can pull off with that. I mean, I can already tell you that Fish is gonna be really happy about it. They played that particular style pretty much in every single game where they could lock Uther in. Fish is a huge fan of the hero, as it seems. And with the Varian ban, that made the whole entire thing possible. We got Tomb of the Spider Queen as our first map. Yeah, and it's time to party here. Let's see what the Russian-Ukrainian team on the right side can do. With Stork as the captain, they go for Sonya, and they also drop Hanzo in the mix here immediately. So far, Playday number 1, the favorites have pretty much performed as expected. Now we're heading into some of the games that could be kind of interesting. I mean, let's not mince words here. Inting for Ruby is a team that finds themselves very much at the bottom of the power ranking of pretty much everyone that made a power ranking. So Team Arthas is a team that has, theoretically at least, a chance to move into the top 4 at some point if they practice a little bit more. So technically, Team Arthas should actually take Inting for Ruby down. But at the same time, we talked a lot about the boys in blue, and these guys have been improving a lot. And now with even more experience, with more practice and scrims, who knows, they might have a chance to really surprise a couple of people once they have the communication down a bit more. And if they catch Team Arthas on the bad day, then they're definitely in a position where they can maybe even win the entire thing. But as I keep saying, even winning a map or two means a lot for the standings at the end of the day, and can help you towards the end of the season quite a bit. So right now we got Lucio also picked, therefore Uther again, the main tank for them. Greymane comes in too. And that is already an interesting one. I mean, back in the days of old, you would always try to combine Greymane with like a Sanctification from Tyrael, with a Divine Shield from Uther. The Koreans and the Chinese were pretty fond of doing that, the Chinese in particular. And here we got a Gul'dan from Uranus and a Brightwing. Alright. So, no main tank just yet. It's actually kind of interesting to see also the lack of current wave clear. I mean, Greymane helps you to an extent, don't get me wrong, but they need a little bit more than only Greymane if they really want to make sure that they have a good rotation between the lanes going on. So, I would expect that some of the teams are at least looking at Jojo eventually. But here comes Baby Houdini with Blaze and Mind Talk on Zarya. That is a lot of support for the main damage dealer, for Greymane. And here comes Mei. No Jojo in this game, nobody using Condemn or anything like it. So, well, as all is said and done, we're heading into game number 1 of our Heroes of the Storm best of 5. And let's figure out which team can take the lead in this one. Game number 1, Tomb of the Spider Queen, Inting for Ruby against Team Arthas. And immediately Murena's heading into a Drain build on Gul'dan. But let's introduce the blue team first. Nox on Lucio, we got Mind Talk on Zarya, Fish on Uther, and Hat is playing Greymane with Baby Houdini sitting on the side lane on his Blaze. Now, for Team Arthas, we got Stork on Sonya, we have Bishops on Hanzo, Skill on Brightwing, Murenas on Gul'dan, and Denardo is playing Mei. Yep, that sets us up for the first game in our Heroes of the Storm best of 5. And, well, the big question is, how can Inting for Ruby perform here? The boys qualified, so that's already a big step into the right direction. They had a lot of good moves in the past during these qualifiers, and you could see them improving. But of course, they're going up against a lot of teams that have way more experience on this level of play than they do. And the big question that we all have is, how are they going to adjust? For now, we're already having a quick move straight for the kill, and Denardo goes down, so that's a good start for them. Inting for Ruby with a quick kill right away, and that was looking pretty good here. Maybe Team Arthas was a bit surprised, but now that we have the Zarya push at the bottom of the map, they're getting Greymane into a really good spot, and that's really what you have to prevent. If Greymane makes it onto a structure, then you know that he is just gonna rip it apart. And that's exactly what happened down here. Side wall is nearly gone, one of the towers is a bit low. But I like that they fell back a little bit quicker than they usually do. Inting for Ruby has a bit of a problem sometimes that they're overstaying and then getting punished for it. But now with the help of Zarya and Greymane, they can take the first tower down already. We have Blaze rotating between the middle and the top now, which of course allows the team to go with a 4-man for the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map. Yeah, Baby Houdini needs to be careful over here, but with the Siege Giants, they are starting to push this. And they're pushing this hard, and there's nobody here because they're taking the camp. This is a bit of a disaster, honestly. This is not good for Team Arthas at all. And I don't know, but that could be the entire wall already. And once that the mid camp is taken, all they gotta do is fall back into the mid lane and they're going to be Gucci. Now we have a bit of damage gone over to the... yeah, well, to the fountain, which they cannot take down in this case. But as long as they survive here and don't lose any of their heroes, this is still a big win that they just pulled off. So, good for them. Now, they have to deal with the mid lane. That push is now headed towards their wall, and you really want to take this one down and make sure that it's not going to do too much damage on the other side. But yeah, this could be a little bit dangerous. Not gonna lie. So, we'll figure out how this is gonna... how this is going to work out for them, but at least for the time being, they have started with a pretty decent opening here, and are doing a great job on all of this. So yeah, good for them. Now in the middle of the map, there's already Baby Houdini with his 22 gems. You need to be really, really careful, my friend. If he dies there, that would be... well, it would be a problem if they can't recover the gems. Outside of it, it's not really that bad, but so far we have only seen a single kill in this game. Of course, there's still a bruiser camp on the left side that they can take, and they are working on it. Teams are also determined to try and turn at least some of their gems in. Fish, for example, wants to deliver the 10 that he's holding here. I guess the majority of the gems is in the hands of Blaze, who also needs to try and sneak them in. But we have on the left side the camp now about to be taken. Nobody has turned any gems in just yet, but Morenas is already on the way for Team Arthas. And here we go. The build, honestly, we've seen drain builds every now and then come in. Usually, oh, that's a kill. It should be a kill. Yeah, there it is. Usually you are looking more at, well, Echoed Corruption and then Ruinous Affliction later on. Wave clear, of course, is a big goal of that too. But in this case, we're getting a very different setup. I talked about the Chaotic Energy already at the beginning. Then, of course, the health funnel is coming in too. And that can be quite a powerful build in the sense that you're getting a lot of single target damage in if you can hold that through. But if it's going to work out for them here or not, that's a very, very different question. And at least for now, it's only a single gem that is needed for the team in blue to get their first Web Weaver wave. And I want to highlight that wall down here at the bottom again, because with them already obliterating the entire thing, that's a shot that you have at the keep that could very well result in that one being taken down. So that isn't a bad opening. I gotta admit that Inting for Ruby is doing fairly well here. Much better than I thought they would perform at the beginning of this one. Now at the same time, you also have to keep in mind that of course once level 10 hits, it's a bit of a different story. And even on level 7, we have Zarya going down. They try for the counter kill. Nox has to be very careful that he doesn't go too deep for this one. He can't get it, so they lost one. They recovered the gems, but the Web Weavers are now descending. Zarya should be back in time for all of this. And then you really want to set yourselves apart a little bit in structures. That has to be the goal here. I mean, it simply has to. Now, Zarya is on her way. Blaze is already pushing the top lane out a little bit to make it easier for the Web Weavers to connect with structures. And at the bottom of the map, they're going for the first big one. That's the first one that they want to take right here. So at this point, I would be a bit shocked if the red team can really save it. Especially since Gul'dan is still all the way up at the top. And Greymane is already doing his job. He's jumping straight onto the fort in Worgen form and easily takes it down with the help of the Web Weavers. Baby Houdini is playing his own little side game the entire time. But the first fort is now gone. Now, that's all that the Web Weavers could really accomplish here. I don't really think they should push too hard with this. They can't really accomplish anything anymore. They just need to make sure that they're not dying. And with them overstaying and pushing deeper, they might now lose a hero or two. Now, Blaze is still rotating on the sides, and it seems like the entire blue team is going to get out here. But Fish, he took quite the beating. We'll probably have to Hearthstone back. The Web Weaver is even getting some value down here, as you can see. And in the meantime, Blaze is still doing his thing on the side and is also, of course, therefore, accumulating even more gems for them, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. So yeah, good for them. I mean, so far they're doing fairly well. And with all of that said and done, it's level 9 versus level 9. We got a kill against 2. Still, structurally speaking, the team in blue has taken the lead. We have 21,000 damage now for Hanzo, by the way. And thanks to the Siege Giants being up at the bottom of the map, they're making a move for them right away. So, yeah, there we go. Should be able to get this quickly. There's the level 10 abilities. A little bit faster for the red team, which is kind of nice, because that should give them the turn-in. And in an ideal world, even a kill. I mean, we got Leap on Stalk. He misses the spear against Lucio, though. But with level 10 abilities now being ready, the Horrify, the Leap, it's quite a bit of kill potential that you have. Both of the teams now have their next ability, and that gives us the high 5. Yeah, that wall didn't connect with anything. Red team is summoning the Web Weaver, so we're going to see some counter-aggression for them too. And yeah, let's see what we can actually put out for this. Alrighty, so up in the middle, here we have it. And yeah, that should be a pretty easy defense in the mid lane at least. The good thing for them is that the Web Weaver at the bottom has a lot of travel time until he connects with anything, so that's really a decent start. But yeah, here comes the leap and the Horrify follow-up attempt, but Blaze reacted quickly. Nicely done. That was actually a very, very smooth move here. Making sure that the bunker is up, the Horrify didn't connect with anything, and that made the entire defense just so much cleaner for them. At the bottom of the map, they still have to play around this a little bit more. And of course, Brightwing is now jumping in. We got Morenas and Gul'dan also joining the fun. And yep, that is going to be a wall. But it's highly doubtful that they're going to get an entire fort. Then again, Denado is now coming in here from the side, trying to set this one up. They're trying to get a kill. Meme Strike is out, and Mind Talk is walking away from it. They have to abandon the fort. Now there's 4 heroes finally ready for defense, but it might be a little bit too late. It seems like this team of Stalk is going to get this one after all, yeah. Fort for fort. But now, of course, you have that side approach with Baby Houdini trying to go for Jet Propulsion Connect. And if he gets it, they might get Sonya. He doesn't, but they get Mei. So that's a bit of a consolation prize that they were able to lock in. And let's not forget that they also have enough gems to go for another turn in too. And that's exactly what they're currently trying to get here. So, yeah, job well done. At least for now. And so far, things are actually looking pretty good for them. I gotta admit that this series is a lot more entertaining than I expected it to be, so good on them. Because at this point, if they turn in again as they just did, I mean, it was close, but it worked. They have another Web Weaver wave coming down. And I'm not 100% certain if Team Arthas honestly expected that they would be in for a fight here. But I had them in the roles of being the favorite, and by quite the margin. But what we're seeing now is a fight on even level. That's a nice attempt at getting a kill into the backline, but that didn't work out. And the coordination here just isn't there. Especially now with the Horrify coming in late and Fish getting pushed away instead of into the team. That didn't work out at all. And they just burned 4 of their ults for this one. So now the Web Weavers are coming in. They didn't get the kill. And that's a huge opportunity for Inting for Ruby to do some work here and get some damage. And that could be a real big problem. Yeah, they're starting to get the next wall destroyed. Web Weaver at the bot lane is, of course, eventually going to take aim for the keep. But as they're pushing them out, there could be another kill. They go for Denado. Brightwing comes in. There's the big stun from Uther. And they can't get the kill connected. Brightwing was jumping out. Denado was safe. Now we got the level 13 talents also for Team Arthas. Another nice cocktail connecting with pretty much the entire team here. But 2 kills against 2, level 13 on both sides. And you gotta give some credit to Inting for Ruby. They're definitely doing what they can here. Weren't able to take another fort down, but they at least did damage at the bottom of the map, including the Found. Even the keep is taking a bit of damage. Gul'dan was the one that eventually traveled towards the bot lane in order to defend it. One of the problems that, of course, you now have to face is that your opponent has enough gems for a turn, whereas they don't anymore. So you gotta be careful around that. Quite diligent, on the other hand, trying to make sure that they're getting those turn-ins here. Whenever they got a couple of gems, they're coming straight for the turn-in spots, trying to make sure that nothing happens, that they're not gonna get wrecked around it. So yeah, good for them. In camps, let's Siege Giants getting attacked again, there's another opportunity to set the camp on the route at the bot lane, which then of course is going to force a reaction out of Team Arthas again, since that would attack their keep directly. Now at the top, Stork is trying to turn in, and that's 48 gems that he wants to deliver. Gets interrupted, and there's another one, so they're actually doing a fantastic job making sure that Team Arthas is not going to get a turn in themselves. Brightwing is defending the bottom of the map as we speak. And over here, they're pushing them back. They're trying to go for the stun. And, oh, Brightwing with a big heal. They jump into the back. Uther down. He moved away from the bunker. Didn't go into it. Oh, it was so clutch. It could have been the end of Gul'dan, seriously. If Gul'dan dies there, it was so close. It was maybe half a second it was missing. If he dies, he can't drop the Horrify, and that would be a totally different ball game. But now they're losing not only Uther, but also Blaze, and that is, of course, a fantastic opportunity for Team Arthas to now capitalize on the Bruiser camp, go in, take the fort down, get the turn in. I mean, honestly, they can even make a play now for, I was about to say the fort, but instead they're going for boss before the turn in. They can do both, pretty much. So this is where it starts to turn. The lead-in experience is already pretty impactful. I mean, they are far ahead now. Blaze, he's about to respawn, is a bit of a risky play here from Team Arthas, I guess, at the end of the day. But a nice wall to zone them out a little bit. Not that it was necessarily needed. Now we have level 16 as an advantage for Team Arthas. They can get the turn in. They got the boss traveling through the top lane. And that is going to be an absolutely amazing push for their team in red. Yeah, this is going to be real solid for them. That's going to be an incredibly solid push that they're currently setting up here. And this should do quite a bit of damage. I mean, the forts are all down already, but now that you're trying to go straight in for the keep, if you take that one too, then you have such a big lead here. And Web Weavers are just now coming down, so that also defends the bot lane where the Siege Giants are still active. But over here, they're opening the wall up for the Web Weavers. That talent advantage that Team Arthas is holding now is, of course, another huge problem that they got to deal with. They're falling back a little bit here. But it's even the mid lane that gets attacked. I mean, Sonya is just now coming in since she was still busy. The bunker, low, there's the stun. Uther buying a bit of time and space for them. But they are still taking enormous damage, and the poke continues. And in the middle of the map, the wall is also falling. Baby Houdini is trying to deal with it. Yeah, and the Russian aggression continues. They go for Zarya, and they take her down. And that might very well be the end of the keep at the top. At least it's going to take damage. They defended the middle of the map, so that's a step into the right direction. But losing the keep top side, that is a huge problem now. Nicely done. That is actually amazing. So good stuff for them. Well, at the same time, the Web Weaver at the bot lane is also preparing for the push. I mean, they're not even stopping. With Zarya dead, they're just moving into the middle. At least level 16 talents are now ready for the blue team too. So they got that going for themselves. But whew, we are having a bit of a party on our hands here. Because the Russians are just coming in and they can't stop, won't stop. They're just going for the all-out aggression in an attempt to get such a massive lead that it's just irrecoverable for the blue team. And they're doing really well around it. It's only 5 kills to 2, so it's not like we're looking at an insane lead in kills or anything. But it's definitely a solid lead, especially when you're taking a closer look at experience. Don't even have to look at the forts themselves. But experience alone is already massive. 71,000 damage, by the way, for Hanzo. He's doubling the numbers of Greymin at this point. 2 deaths against Mei, the only ones that they suffered. And now they're starting to move through the middle, trying to capitalize on the camp that they just stole away from their opponent in an attempt to do a little bit more here even. Meme strike, and Uther is down, but the counter kill potential is definitely there. They're trying to go for Hanzo, and they get him. Even Brightwing was in trouble. Camp is still doing a bit of work. Brightwing is down, okay. Fruit Fly is eliminated, and they even get Denardo. That's a lot of gems down the drain. That is quite a few gems that they just lost. Now, Murenas is trying to pick him up, but he is just a second too late. Yeah, so he can't make that work either. But now there's some momentum, at least, that can be used to maybe take some of the structures down, summon your own Web Weaver wave. I mean, you got options all of a sudden. With you killing 3 heroes, you got a few options here. And they need to turn in, that one is a given. Trying to push the lanes out a bit so that they can have an easier time taking those forts down is also essential, of course. Maybe even dealing with the Siege Giants at the bottom of the map if they really want to be diligent about it. But, yep, here we go. We got the the Uther wave clear all the way up at the top. Even more funny because it didn't go for the Holy Fire. But now at the bot lane, they seem to be trying to go for a pretty big punch here. They're just saying, guys, we need to do something before the level 20 hits for Team Arthas, or we're gonna have a mad problem. And so what they're trying to do is they're moving down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to maybe take the keep. And if they can equalize that, all the better. The problem is they can't lose Zarya for this. The engage is there. There's the meme strike. Doesn't do as much damage as they wanted to, but instead the stun against Khaldor and Brightwing again with a big save. Grey main is down. Team Arthas, they show up when they need to, and that's a double kill. The Web Weaver has to be defended over here, but I don't think that the keep is going to fall. We have the fort in the mid lane destroyed, but now level 20 is also available for Team Arthas. And that is also cooldown reduction tools for Hanzo in particular. So he can get way more value now out of his level 10 choice. Yeah, Brightwing with the invisible friends again. But this is dicey. Now you're one level behind. Boss is back up in 10 seconds, so it can be taken. We have 2 heroes still down for the blue team. And yeah, that's an issue. So now they're trying to steal the camp down here away, which isn't a bad move, honestly. It's a little bit of a risky one too, but they definitely know that the boss will be attacked by the red team. So in their mind, it's just one of the few things they can pull off on the map to maybe get a bit of counter pressure going. Even a play for the bottom keep might be something that they could try and pull off here, because it's open. I mean, they could literally make that move right now. I honestly think they should. I think they should have tried to get a bit closer here, push that wave out, do a little bit of damage, and then Hearthstone back. They have to face the music all the way up at the top, one way or another. Bottom keep might, by the way, fall. Like, this one is going to take a lot of damage, so that bot keep is very likely going to fall. The camp in the middle is doing some work, but at the end of the day, what Team Arthas is trying to do here is end game number 1 and win this one. They have the advantage with the Storm Talons. The boss at 17 minutes is going to be impactful too. And a desperate attempt of Inting for Ruby as they're about to, oh my god, nearly losing Blaze here, but he's still alive. The Horrify, Blaze gets taken. Uther, bam, they just dropped him. No chance for him. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to result in a lead for Team Arthas. They're going to take game number 1 in this Heroes of the Storm series at the Masters Clash. Everybody dead with the exception of Lucio. It's a quad kill right now. And that is it. Game number 1. Ending in favor of Team Arthas as they take the lead in this Heroes of the Storm Best of 5 series. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Dragonshire, map number 2 in our Best of 5 series here. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Team Arthas. I want to say that they worked a bit harder than they probably expected for the victory in game number 1, but they still locked it in. Now, first pick, first ban goes over to Inting for Ruby. And, well, for now, Stork and his boys have been doing well. They chose the map, so they want to play on Dragonshire. And, well, let's see what actually they can do with this one. But I'm kind of happy that Inting for Ruby puts up a bit of a fight. Now, they're in this really unthankful spot where they're a little bit of a newcomer team in the sense that, yes, they played in the amateur scene before, but they haven't really had a lot of opportunities to play on this level. And you have the unthankful position where you go up against teams that are a lot more experienced than you, and you just slowly, you know, need to improve little by little and then try to get into a position where you can get out of the bottom ranks. And again, I'm saying all of this at Playday number 1. Of course, there's a lot of stuff that can happen here, but this is usually how these things go. And one of the most important things is that you don't lose motivation while you're in the process of doing this, because it is tough to go up against experienced teams and it can result in quite a bit of beatdowns. I mean, imagine them going up against the Hardos, for example, now. So we got Uther again as the first pick, so they're sticking to their guns here. Sonya and Lucio as the immediate response of Team Arthas. We went Dragonshire, so the Lucio rotations can already be dangerous too. But the big question that we now have as well is what happens around heroes like Rexa, for example. Are we going to see him here again? Do we maybe even get a couple of globals in? Brightwing is still a choice. There's Dehaka. Baby Houdini, of course, loves to play that hero. So that wasn't really a big shock. But there's still the birdie that we could technically see. So that's another one that might make an appearance. But yeah, it's time to go for the next few bans here. And have a bit of a look at that. Let's see what against exactly Team Arthas is gonna get rid of right now. Yeah, they love their Sonya. And on this map, you have a lot of lot of nooks and corners where you have perfect vision on the opponent. You can just simply leap over, especially at the bot and at the top lane. There's a couple of great positions if Sonya can sneak into them. With leap, she can get quick kills in. Now, that doesn't mean that we're necessarily going to see leap here. Obviously, Wrath of the Berserker is still played quite a bit. But given the playstyle of Stalk in particular, and this being Dragonshire, I think the aggressive style that the team prefers caters pretty well to that. So, in comes the ban on May, and Deckard Cain also gets locked out. Honestly, I don't even know if they're going to be really looking towards Deckard here, but I mean, for now it's Team Arthas is going for the next double pick. So, there's that. And yeah, let's see what they can do with this one, because what we still need... I mean, a main tank, maybe they take it late again. They usually like to play the Sylvana style too, but obviously the blue team was a little bit quicker on her and picked her away. So now we got Jojo and we get Hanzo again. Yeah, Bishops is actually kind of interesting. I mean, he plays a mean Hanzo and he loves to use that hero whenever he can. Same is also true to an extent, at least for Sylvanas. They love these pushes with her. So this time we had Inting for Ruby picking her first. And yeah, that's something that we could see a little bit more often there in this series. But, as I say this, the last two picks are coming together for Inting for Ruby, and it's Kharazim plus Li Ming. Okay, so we got the second support in, Arthas the main tank, Kharazim together with that, and Li Ming behind it. We'll see how that's going to work out for them. Last pick for Morenas before we're heading into game number 2. And again, this is a best of 5. We're still on Playday number 1 of the Masters Clash. And what's it gonna be? We need our second damage dealer. Or Deathwing. Oh, chicken skin. Deathwing with a chicken skin. Okay, the big chicken is in. Dragonshire is the second map. Team Arthas is in the lead. Let's see if they can extend it or if Inting for Ruby is going to take the victory on map number 2. Let's head straight into the next round here of the Masters Clash. Game number 2, the party continues. We're on Dragonshire on the left on the left side. As I turn into murky temporarily. The fish on Uther. Mindtalk is playing Li Ming. We got Hat on Sylvanas, Nox on Kharazim, and Baby Houdini on Dehaka. By the way, I want to note something real quickly because for some reason this has apparently not reached everyone. This is the standard talent for Kharazim, even if he is played as a solo support. I have no idea why people still believe that Transcendence is the normal talent for him to take if he's in a support position. It's definitely not a thing. So guys, if you're playing Kharazim and you want to play him properly, please take Iron Fists. Stalk on Sonya for the other team. We got Denado on Jojo, Bishops on Hanzo, Skill on Lucio, and Morenas is playing the Chicken Deathwing. Looks a little bit like a turkey before it enters the oven, so yeah, not really what makes for a terrifying dragon, but well, whatever. Now, as all of this is slowly panning out, we already have some damage against Mindtalk, who might actually die here. Oh my god. A bit closer than he would have probably liked in that situation. So that's kind of unfortunate. We got the Tough as Nails already in. So going into block, Sonya at the top now in that 1 versus 1. And they're actually waiting for a rotation of the red team too, of the blue team too, as they're trying to interrupt that. So, yeah, let's go for the party and see what they can actually do at this point. Because for now, we still have all the way up at the top, Baby Houdini, and he's playing it really safe and close to home. So in that position, he can always move down and help the team out with a quick borrow. But of course, nobody... he pretty much makes himself ungankable. He doesn't really go for any big hits here, doesn't push the lane out. That makes it difficult for Sonya to approach properly. And yep, there's a quick combo shot over the wall, but they're getting the camp. And it's pretty much for both of the teams, right? You want to make sure that you get your siege giants the entire time once at the 1 minute mark hits, and afterwards the bruiser camps are usually up for grabs and the teams are going to look towards them. But either way, we now have still both of the teams just testing the waters a little bit. Very different map than what we're seeing on 2 with the Spider Queen, of course. I mean, there's a lot more points that you want to control here. Dehaka and Sonya are still locked into this 1 versus 1, whereas Morenas down at the bottom of the map is already trying to contest the shrine, because now there's a double control for the blue team as they're aiming for Dragon Knight number 1. So, yeah, here comes a bit of a combo against Deathwing as he goes straight in for the flame here. And they're looking for Stark. Yeah, the fish just appeared. Bishops, then again, is helping out Sonya. Just saying, alright, let's go for the 2v2, my friend. Level 4 talents. Also, the Triumvirate as usual. And a bit of a trap that could mean the end of Fish. He gets the stun in against the damage dealer. The heal, the boop, and that is the end of Uther. Nicely done. Kill number 1 for Team Arthas. And now they got Kane. Dehaka is on the menu as seconds are being served. That's the double kill. Honestly, the second that Uther falls, he should have just backed off there. There was no chance anymore that they could have done anything here. So right now, this is a double control on the shrines. We have the camp taken. They know the chances of them grabbing the Dragonite are pretty low. So while they're forcing someone to guard the middle, they're going for their camp, which can then be used at the top lane to push out the structures even further. Li Ming has taken the bot lane. And yeah, this opening again is pretty solid for Team Arthas. Gained some momentum in game number 1, and they are now currently extending it here. And here we go. I mean, I talked about this just the other day. I feel like we have a top 4 that is very solid in Europe right now. Obviously, a lot of these teams just formed recently when the Masters Clash started and the qualifiers began. But now we have with 30k, with Chili Mountain, the Hardest and the Donuts, a very solid top 4. Even within the top 4, there's a couple of like different skill levels, but the top 4 is kind of solid. Team Arthas, now as they're also picking up kill number 2 against Uther, is in a spot where they can start pushing into those top 4 though. They definitely have the player power there. They just need to have also the synergy and coordination that was maybe lacking in some of the qualifiers. But they got the potential. So there's a couple of teams that you have in the bottom 4 that definitely can make some moves here. And talking about making moves, nice drag. Dehaka with a big tongue against Jojo. So that is a quick kill. And now that the main tank is gone, they're still holding on to the bot lane. Problem for Mindhog is that he is pretty low. If they can somehow get that channel on the Dragonite statue, that would be kind of neat. And they might just be able to pull it off. There's one interrupt. Deathwing is taking the bottom. Another interrupt from Stork. If the stun connects, he might fall. Yeah, cooldown isn't there. And they still get the kill. Nicely done. The kill is in. They are slightly behind experience. Li Ming is still fighting it out at the bottom of the map, and she is reclaiming the position, and they might get that Dragonite. They're going to fight for it. They're definitely threatening it, and that forces Team Arthas back out onto the lane. Deathwing is coming in, helping out with the interrupts. Doesn't change the fact that Hat himself is also getting attacked here, and Deathwing dropping into the middle as they're doing their best to prevent objective number 1 to be taken by Inting for Ruby. Okay, so bot lane, Li Ming eventually will have to fall back here. Mindhawk is already looking at this and saying like, nah guys, I did a pretty decent job I think of holding this as long as possible. But unless I get some assistance here, this is the end of the road for now. And Uther is coming in to give that assistance, help out with it. And they're so far actually doing fairly well here. They're still holding this. Dehaka is retaking topside. Both of the teams are on level 9. And Uther is sitting in the middle, is trying for the channel, but Hanzo is already here for the interrupt. The fight at the bottom continues, and Denado is kind of low. Has the Iron Skin up and can use it. Sonya is still fighting against Dehaka, and the bad news for Stork is that he's going to lose that battle, but at least the tongue doesn't connect. It could have been a kill against him, to be honest. And the siege giants, now that they have also been taken. I mean, honestly, the pressure is on. Team Arthas, they are pressured at the bot lane, they're pressured in the middle where the Dragonite is threatened, so there is a lot happening here for Inting for Ruby. They even get the earlier level 10, they got the mind control now. Yeah, 7-sided strike into mind control. A little bit of an NA style. We've seen that in the CCL a lot, but in the European scene hasn't really been a thing. European teams don't go for that style traditionally. It's more something that was played on the North American server. Some of the European teams adopted it over there because of the ping problems that they had. Traditionally, we have other setups that are being played here, but they are trying for it. And the Death Knight is taken! Yeah, Death Knight, the Dragonite. There's a little bit of one. Dragonite is taken, and they want to go for a kill against Denado, which they cannot get right now. But still, this is a lot of damage in the mid lane. We're now 6 minutes into the game. And Inting for Ruby, ladies. They are doing very well here. Yeah, they're opening up the bot lane a little bit. Deathwing is trying to help out with that. But that is a solid setup. Very solid. Now, we have Wrath of the Berserker, by the way, so not going into that aggressive lead that we are used to see from Stork. Yeah, Mindtalk at the bot lane. He also is fighting this one out. The arrow connecting with 2. Nice target switch onto Hat. and Sylvanas goes down. Well done. The Dragonite is starting to join the fun here. Obviously, with the HP being this low already, the only thing that they can do is use the Dragon's Breath to burn some of these waves down, which is always what you should do. But, yep. Nice damage in the mid lane, a little bit at the bottom, but now they're getting attacked again. The 7-sided strike is already out. Sound Barrier, and Uther, with the last second Divine Shield, is saving himself. Mindtalk with a quick kill against Hanzo. Hanzo wanted to kill, and Mindtalk was just a little bit quicker, dropping the Calamity right into his face, and that is the end of the damage dealer on the red team side. So yeah, nicely done. That was a pretty cool move. 3 kills to 4, slightly in experience. And we got a fun one here. We definitely do. Top side, Baby Houdini going up in Skiller. Obviously, we now have Stalk starting to move in too and trying to help out with a quick spear and slam against the Haka. Wasn't enough damage to really make a difference. But now that the camps are soon going to collide, Sylvanas might just be the one hero that changes the equation. They could burn this down. Talking about burning things down, they want to burn down the Haka as well. And Baby Houdini is a little bit low. The Blessed Shield gets dodged. Well done. Good timing from the Haka. Everybody else was already rotating towards the mid lane in order to help out, but they didn't really need to. Now at the bottom of the map, Mindtalk still playing this one out. And he goes for his particular Li Ming style. He likes this shit. He plays with Cannoneer again. He's been doing this a couple of times in the qualifier too. And he really, really prefers that over playing this out with Illusionist, which is with the Calamity setup. Very good synergy to have, but yeah, he lets it go. 7-sided has been used. Baby Odin is alive. Big arrow against 3. But even with that, they're not dying. Instead, they're taking the kill against Sonya. Now the Haka goes down, but Li Ming, she comes in with a reset, and she wants more. Divine Shield on her to give her even more opportunities against Bishops, maybe. There's another setup. Is the Calamity going to come back? Yeah, ult isn't ready. Can't really do anything here, so the two of them escape with pretty low HP. But the kill against at least Johanna was already worth a lot. Now those Siege Giants, they have done a whole lot of work in the meantime. And they are about to take that fort down completely with the help of the minion wave. Or are they? They actually can't get it. The last hit is again not coming through for them. Alright. So now we have top side already, the take happening right here. In terms of damage output, by the way, let's have another quick look in. Hanzo's already on 35,000. I mean, the arrow that he threw out was just insane. So Bishops, he might have inted a little bit earlier against Li Ming or lost that one duel, but the arrows that he's firing out, they are absolutely on point. So once again, with the perfect setup right there. Still have a bit of a terror at the bot lane happening as the camp is getting slowly burned to a crisp. But in the mid lane, Li Ming was hoping to get the Dragonite. It's not happening here for him. He got 5 kills to 5, a bit of an earlier one with a level 5 here, but let's see what else they can do right now. Because for now, at the bot lane, they're just trying to prevent Fort from falling, which honestly is not going to work out. But thanks to the Hark at the top, they might go for an even trade here if they're able to get this one too. So, yeah, already starting to move in straight for it. Mindtalk is ready. And he has, by the way, not died. He's one of the few in this game that hasn't fallen yet. Talking about heroes that are dying at the bottom of the map, it seems like we're going to potentially see a few more getting dropped. The 7-sided strike. I would really love for them to combo that off a bit more of mind control. If you're already going for that combo, then at least use it. Another arrow connects, but this time it was short distance, so not full stun duration for them. The opportunity to maybe go into the middle. There's the mind control, and now they don't have the 7-sided. Last time Karasim had to use it, everybody just moved out. Happened twice already. We need to go for the 16, so playing it a bit slow is going to be good for them too. And yeah, the drag does not connect here. Bishops is still moving away from it. Stalk is in the middle trying to prevent the Dragonite, but everybody else is down at the bottom of the map. So with that 5-man here, they're looking for level 16 talents, and they're also attempting to burn down that fountain. The invade is happening. If you get the extra talent, then you might as well try and make a play for the camp and steal it away. At the bot lane, the attempt of retaking has been thwarted, at least for now, but they can maybe make a move right here. Trying to push that fort down. Get a kill. Use that level 16 advantage. It's not really for a long time. They're going to lose it in just another moment. But maybe another mind control now into 7-sided. Especially once that Jojo is done with the unstoppable over here. Denado with the blessed shield, and he still goes down as Li Ming connects the damage. Well done, and that fort is in trouble. Yep, good kills. Sonya still dead, Jojo dead. Fantastic setup by them. And they are able to go for the fort. They should be able to get another Dragonite now too, especially since Deathwing is at the top at this point. So they're even stealing the Siege Giants away. Seems like Lucio is going to try and make a play down here. But yeah, they are still going to look for that kill. And Had in particular, if he at any point gets that mind control in, then they can easily just make a play with the 7-sided. But there it is. The attempt to go for the Dragonite. They got Nox already on the way. Nobody can even get close to interrupt this. And that's Dragonite number 2. So there we have it. Li Ming, by the way, still, I mean, we knock out got Fireflies. So every single time you see Mind Talk on his Li Ming, it is just a little bit weird. He's definitely not adhering to the meta, not even a little bit. No Mirror Ball, but Fireflies instead, letting the Illusionist drop too. So yeah, his build is kind of special. We've seen this a few times in the qualifier, and he continues with the style over here too. I mean, he seems to be enjoying that, but I gotta say, it's definitely not what is established meta on the hero. As long as it works for him, fair enough. There's, by the way, Divine Shield on Li Ming again. She's in 43,000 damage. I mean, at least he didn't go for Glass Cannon, right? So Morenas gets attacked over here, and that's a kill. Nice. The arrow missing big time. And they're going for another kill against Lucio, but Sylvanas dies. How are they not getting kills here? Like, what? 3 down. Sylvanas, Deckard, Dehaka, and Li Ming are all dead. Uther is dead too. Oh my god, that backfired. Holy shit, that backfired hard. I mean, damn. Karazim is... He's not gonna get out either. No, they're gonna kill him. I mean, guys, what the hell? Check this one out. A total slaughter. Everybody just like dying and dropping as they were trying to go for keep. And that backfired completely. It's 10 kills to 9 now. And they have full control over the map, so they go for every single camp that they can grab at this point. But damn, son. That just backfired hard to them. Within a second, this just went all to hell. It looked great, and especially after the arrow on Hanzo also missed. But then they just got locked in, and I was expecting them to get a few kills in. I mean, everyone on the side of the red team was low too. But instead, it's just a slaughter. And Team Arthas is coming in heavy. Now they're also looking to take down at least the wall at the bottom of the map. Deathwing is coming in. Baby Houdini with a drag. He connects it, but he also eats a lot of damage as he's trying to escape. Karazim is still dead, is coming back in slowly, and they're going for the kill. But it is Lucio that dies first. At least they get the kill on Uther. So it's a trade in kills as they get at least some damage on the keep. But all of a sudden, we are on an interesting one. I mean, damn. Alright. So, yeah, there's the level 20 coming up soon for the 2. But holy hell. Now, one of the problems, honestly, is also that Li Ming needs to be a little bit careful. If you go for that particular setup that she runs here, especially if you're dropping Illusionist, you need to be really careful how you're engaging. I mean, normally you take Illusionist because it combos off so well with Calamity, and it gives you also some additional safety when you make the aggressive play. But if you're then dropping that, then of course you might have some potential for additional damages and output, but you're also much more vulnerable whenever you're making an engage, if it's not against a team that has already been decimated. So if they turn quickly against Li Ming whenever Mind Talk makes an engage and tries to go for a kill, they can do a lot of work here. Transgression is in, level 20 talents for both. They're stunned, they kill. Just been talking about it. Li Ming down. Now they're trying to go for Nox. They might not be able to get him, but they are also starting to take down Baby Houdini again. And hello team, that could be a kill. Hat barely made it out, and Nox is low, and now they're right in front of the keep. Right at the doorstep, right here. With an attempt to go for the kill. We also got the Indestructible over here for Jojo. We got now the Composite Spear in as well. Went for the Rampage on level 16. And that's keep number 1. Keep destroyed. And they get the kill against Sylvanas. They can go for core now. They have a chance. They can go for a few additional kills and try to go for the core here. The fish is losing hit points quickly. And the core shield is getting attacked, the drag, but there's the sound barrier from Lucio once more, and the divine shield that just barely saves the Haka. It is trouble brewing for them as the core is already losing some hit points. Team Arthas, they got the 1-0 lead, and they're looking for the 2-0 in this best of 5. They're coming in again with the kill on Uther. They go for the Haka. They drop him too. The core is falling. And even with Liming coming back, there's just no way to save this any longer. And this is game as Team Arthas locks in the victory in this Heroes of the Storm match against Inting for Ruby on Dragonshire. Game number 3, 2-0 everybody. Team Arthas, they've taken the big lead in the best of 5. And I gotta say, Inting for Ruby, first game, they kind of played on eye level for a long time. Game number 2, it seemed like they were ahead. And then Hanzo, with a couple of well-timed arrows and good stuns, turned it around with the rest of the team. So this is pretty much the situation that I was referring to earlier. You're playing a good style, you're getting a little bit better, but then at the end of the day, some decision making, some moves that you make, and your opponent just flips it on you, and that can be kind of frustrating. So for Inting for Ruby, it is going to be super important that they actually come in and just improve and are not getting demotivated by a couple of losses here. And it must be a bit frustrating, but the problem is also, of course, that at the end of the day, nobody cares if you were close to winning a map or not. It just depends. It just matters if you did win it, and so far they didn't. Team Arthas took it 2-0, and, well, we got the Sonya first pick again. This, by the way, also broke the mold a little bit on our first pick, first ban pattern, because normally, I mean, what happens is if you're losing a map in a best of 5 or best of 3 series, the losing team can make the choice whether they want to have first pick on map number 2 or whether they want to choose the map. And I want to say that 99% of the teams always go for first pick. First pick is just getting you a little bit of a better position in the draft. And very rarely do teams go for the map pick, only if they feel like they have to play on a certain map right now. And that's kind of what Inting for Ruby did. So they actually switched it up. They lost the last map, but they decided that they want to play this one out on Infernal Shrines. So I'm a bit curious what the strategy is going to be. Because if you have a team that is really, I don't want to say desperate, but it's like that determined to go for a certain map, then yeah, this is something where they obviously feel they have a good chance of getting a victory here. Now we got Chromie in. Morenas, after she wasn't banned out, was able to lock her in. Interestingly enough, Inting for Ruby also didn't take her. Had a bit of a chance there. But here come our bans. And Chromie, yeah, she can fire away pretty heavily here. So we'll see what they can do here. We got Varian banned out again. There's May as a quick ban. And the interesting thing to me is that Bishop's Hanzo is also still open. Sylvanas and Hanzo are both still up. Yeah, I honestly am a little bit concerned. If Inting for Ruby doesn't pick some of them themselves now, then that could be, I want to say like a replay of what we've seen on the previous map, but you would definitely give Bishop some of the heroes that he likes to play the most. And maybe not the best idea here. But they seem to be really worried about this May that Denado played in game number 1. This is the second time now that they banned her out, so they are really, really not a fan of going up against her. Here comes Brightwing, and we got Baby Houdini on Blaze. So the Johanna Blaze combo, old school but really strong, very powerful, and a solid one. That leaves us with the last 2 picks. And you guys want to take a bet on what exactly we're going to get from Bishops as a damage dealer? I mean, there's pretty much 2 options at this point. Denado with his frontline pick. There's Diablo and there's Sylvanas. Told you, there's 2 choices, Sylvanas and Hanzo. And this time they're going for Sylph. Diablo for the wall stuns. Sonya technically with the follow-up. And that leaves us with the last pick. Now that we're heading into the 3rd map. And for Inting for Ruby, it really comes... reverse sweep would be perfect. But... again, even if you can just win a map or 2, that's great. You need to get those maps for the ranking. Super important, especially against teams that you're in direct competition with, which what they want to do here. We got Ragnaros, alright. We have seen him a bit more often. This is a map where you can definitely play him. So let's see if our little Firebird over there can change things up for them. Infernal Shrines, game number 3 in our Heroes of the Storm series. The Masters Clash Playday number 1 continues. Inting for Ruby against Team Arthas. Inting for Ruby against Team Arthas, the blue team, eager to get a win onto the scoreboard. We got Fish on Johanna, we got Nox on Brightwing. Mind Talk on Ragnaros, Hat on Cassia, and Baby Houdini on Blaze. First game actually, where Fish does not play his Uther. Stock for the red team. And playing Sonya, we got Bishops on Sylvanas, Denado on Diablo, Skillers playing Lucio, and Morenas on Chromie. Okay, stage is set. We go for the meatball build, apparently. Going full Swedish setup here with Mind Talk on Ragnaros. And, yep, the IKEA build. And let's have a bit of a look at what they can pull off on this map. They chose the map. They wanted to play the map more than they wanted the first pick. So that's a big question. Can they pull that off over here? Yes or no? Level 1, the Neural Stimpact for Blaze. And, well, he's already up at the top side, whereas Ragnaros is at the bottom of the map. Now, Chris was the one that started to play Ragnaros a bit with the Hardos. Even Nick already chipped in on him. We see him a bit more lately. He's not really a super popular pick, but he still gets taken. And this is obviously a map where, especially with the Molten Core, he can do quite a bit of work because it reaches the objective. And also, if you want to slow down the game, you can do that too. Just the other day, we had two teams that were trying to play that good old Ragnaros Nazebo style, where you try to get Nazebo to 20 with a Vile Infection. Both of them failed pretty miserably, were also not really played out well. You gotta have a lot of patience and really be very, very disciplined in the way that you play that out. And both of the teams that tried it kind of worked, so that didn't work. But they're going for the camp, and the red team is trying to invade this one, but so far it doesn't seem like they can make this work, and that's a bit of a problem because they didn't use the time to take their own camp. So all of this time invested to invade did not work out, and therefore is kind of wasted. So, yep. We now have our rotation towards the top happening, as you can see. And that's obviously now the one-on-one setup, whereas at the bottom of the map we're talking about the camps. And there's two still up for grabs, since Team Arthas has to take their own too. Now, it seems like they want to play the aggressive style and contest the bot lane first. Denado with another wall stun. And that's always the question, do you have a good Diablo player, yes or no? This is a perfect map for Diablo because there's so many nooks and crannies where you can just simply get an easy wall stun in against an opponent. After level 16, you can sometimes even go for like insta-kills if someone else follows up on it a bit. So, yeah, we'll actually see. But, yeah, so for the time being, it's a slight lead for the blue team. They were able to get at least 2 of the camps. Now, of course, the objective is going to be announced in another 5 seconds. The teams are already starting to work on those shaman camps to send them towards the top lane, where we also will see the first objective spawn. And Inting for Ruby, that makes the exact same rotation as you can see right now. So, yeah. 14 stacks for Ragnaros, 10 at this point for Cassia. Are they really trying to invade this one? I mean, you got 2 of them around. Alright. Third one is coming in. The problem is the blue team is also reacting. We have 2 of them. This is going to be a 5 versus 5 if that continues. I don't really think that they're going to go and make a play for this one. Fish gets attacked, but right wing is already moving in. They still haven't taken the shaman camp, and Fish is low. He's really low, and they're taking it. They're actually taking it. Team Arthas moves in and steals it away. Oh boy, that hurts. Double shaman camp against your fort as the objective is up. Holy hell, they're in trouble. They're really in trouble. They're losing the first tower and they've lost the wall. That is a massive problem right now, and it gives Team Arthas also the better position on the objective itself. Yeah, they're in trouble here for sure. That is an annoying situation to be in. So a slight lead on the objective. They're still trying to push in for this. The camp is now pushing over and is stopping the minion wave. Cassia at the top even falling. That shouldn't have happened in the first place. I mean, I don't even understand why they went in that aggressively. Now there's a level 7 against them too. Oh my god, this is getting worse and worse and worse. That kill shouldn't have happened at all. And that camp is still stopping the minion waves, pushing them out, so that means more pressure against the top. In the meantime, Baby Houdini is having trouble against Stalk. A lot of trouble. To an extent where Denado even came in from the side, hoping that he can get a quick hit against him and take him down. Level 7 talents are soon going to be ready for both, and it seems like the blue team is trying to make a play for the top again. But they are far behind now with the 24. Maybe if Ragnaros commits to something, but he should probably keep it for the defense. Yeah, they're making their move now. Stalk isn't here yet, so this is a 5 versus 4. But they're dropping a bit low, and they get the kill. With Stalk not here, they can't do a whole lot. That's a double kill. the red team, honestly, they had every single advantage that they needed the entire time. And then, instead of just backing off, waiting for Sonya and playing that out slow, they take the 4 versus 5 for no apparent reason. And all of a sudden, they are trailing behind here. Ragnaros, I don't quite understand why he felt the need to pop his trade now of all moments, but alright. Maybe just figured that he's going to have it back up for the next one anyway, so it's fine if he uses it now and speeds the process up a little bit. Also ensures that Team Arthas isn't poking from the outside. But as it stands, the blue team takes the Punisher. Good for them. Blue team with the Punisher, the bait over the wall, so they're going to try and do some damage here. Opening the wall up and taking that one down would at least be the bare minimum that you want to do here. So, yep, off we go. Here comes the play against Jojo as she moves away. Sonya still at the bottom of the map doing her thing, and there are only 3 heroes up here at the top. Only 3 of them. Everybody else is still at the bottom trying to go for camps. And that results in a kill against Brightwing. So, both of the teams not... Yeah, Sylvanas is pushing in easily for this one, so Fish gets isolated. Has the Iron Skin up that might just help him to survive, but with Lucio, they're chasing Jojo down. And now Het is sitting right next to the fort, hugging that thing. And is just saying, please let me live. Which they do. But that's nearly level 10 now for Team Arthas. It's a bit of a chaotic game, honestly. I mean, 4 versus 3 at the top, getting exploited. Pushing in with the level 10 ability now, using Sylvanas to take that fort down. This is a bit chaotic. This is definitely a little bit chaotic. But, well... time will tell how far they can go with this. Right now it seems that at least Team Arthas is going to get a lot of value out of the situation since they can take the fort down or at least drop it low. And yep, that's more or less that. Bam! Easy peasy. There's the kill right there. Now, Ragnaros is still coming in from the side and they got their own level 10. That gives us Sulfura. So with a good setup, blessed shield, and there it is. Bam! In your face, baby! Oh yeah! Blessed shield into Sulfuras. Shortly after, they get the kill against Lucio too. Stork is moving away, and that is a double kill. Every single time they're a bit behind, they're getting their kills in, and this time they're even getting a third. Yeah, they went easily for Sonya. I mean, check this one out. Blessed shield, bam, Sulfuras, and goodbye Diablo. And Lucio, he didn't make it either. So now with 5 kills to 3, Inting for Ruby, they got some momentum. They also get more and more stacks together. They're looking pretty decent on Cassia with the 32. I mean, it's not bad. It's not insane or anything. It's nothing to write home about. Dear mama, today I got 32 stacks in 7 minutes. It's not something that you're going to get a cookie for. But yeah, that's the next players that try to make a move for Fish, and this time it's the blue team that's on the run. Blaze isn't here, neither is Sonya. They're still making their moves, and you always have to account for Lucio. He helps you with the chase. Very easily. Dibbles is only at 12 stacks, so yeah, that's that. But series is open. Only one fort has fallen. Top one has taken damage, but didn't get dropped. Shrine activating this time in the middle of the map. And it's party time. So right now, Baby Houdini can make his way over towards the top side. Obviously, that fort lacking is now an issue, because if you take the Shaman camp and a catapult pushes in too, then the top lane is going to be pretty unbalanced, and that's an issue. Or at least it can be, especially if Sonya stays a bit longer at the top lane, maybe even with the help of Sylvanas and tries to push this out. Damage output, 22,000 for Chromie. They got 18,000 for Cassia, but Chromie has the main damage. Ah, shut up every time. Seriously. So there we go. There's the next quick move as they're trying to make a play for the blue team, trying to take them down here. Yeah, immediately the 13 talent is in for Inting for Ruby, giving them an advantage. But they haven't taken their own camp. They haven't taken their own camp. They're going for Ragnaros. They want the kill. But Baby Houdini goes a bit deep and is getting attacked immediately. And they're falling even into the trap down here. So Nox gets attacked. Lucio boops him back in. And the A-Poke! But both of the supports are down. The problem is that Blaze died as well. Had barely survived. But they are still in trouble. I mean, it's 26 minion stacks against 28 now. Top lane is pushing with camp and catapult. And they're just looking better and better here in the middle. So the red team is now in possession of their own level 13 talents, and they are taking full control over this one. Mindtalk can poke that a bit and maybe secure another 1 or 2 stacks, but that's not going to be enough. They have to defend the top lane right now, and in the meantime, the middle is getting pushed out too. Oh boy. Oh boy. So, there's the jump already procced. They're trying to get the damage in against Mind Talk. That doesn't really do a whole lot here. But they're pushing the top side too. So they're actually going for a two-pronged attack now in the attempt to drop some of these walls at the keep and maybe even the fort in the middle, which would be fantastic. But Sylvanas is dead. It's just kill against kill now. 7-2-5. We got the fort in the mid lane falling. That's the second one that gets destroyed. And in we go. Yeah. Can rotate maybe over and try and take one of these camps away. Everybody's already paying like mad for them. Bot lane is the only lane where no fort has been destroyed yet. But I gotta say, there is quite a bit of a party happening here now. Every time you think, okay, now a team might take a lead here, there's another kill coming in, turning the game on its head again. Structures, that's a different story though. But with both of the forts in the middle and at the top on the red team side being so low, I mean, they're down to 50% HP roughly. All that you need is a good team fight, and you can then move in and take potentially both of them down. Cassia has slowed down on the stacking a bit, by the way. She's only sitting at 40 stacks now, and we're already 11 minutes into the game, so unlikely that this is going to result in some insane stack damage in the late game. And now as they're taking their own camp up at the top, you can see that Team Arthas is capitalizing on the numbers advantage at the bottom right away with a combo, and they're going for Cassia. Alright, the Blessed Shield came out, but the problem is that the fish is still dying, and he's not going to be the only one. That's a double kill. Two of them down, and that's a play for the fort, and they're going to grab this one. Yeah, nicely done. I mean, they got the Chromie damage connected, as you can see. They took Jojo down. Cassia had no chance. We still got Ragnaros close by, but he realized quickly that he won't be able to do anything about it. They have the early level 16, but it doesn't help them, and the momentum continues in favor of Team Arthas, as they're now making a play for the bottom keep even. Now, to be fair, at the top, this is a threat, and that could technically take down the fort, but they don't give a shit, because they're making a play for keep. And both of the heroes that just died are just now getting back, but the keep is still down. They get the keep. The keep is gone, and now all they gotta do is back off. And with the help of Lucio, that shouldn't be a problem at all. So they got the fort, they got the keep, they got the double kill. This is an insane value play for them. And it all started with the blue team going for the top camp here. Maybe a little bit too early. They got a fort in exchange for it, but again, they lost fort and keep at the bot lane and two of their heroes. So that now leads us to 7 kills to 7. Very even experience. And of course, in the greater scheme of things, we now have Team Arthas in a 2-0 lead in this best of 5 Heroes of the Storm series. Meaning if they take now this map, if they take it on Infernal Shrines, it's game. That would result in a 3-0 victory for Team Arthas on the first Playday of the Masters Clash. Down here, a bit of a trap setup. Next shrine is of course popping up now too. But yep, off we go. 32,000 damage now for Sylvanas, 27,000 for Cassia, 18k for Ragnaros with that poke setup that he currently has here. Yeah, going full meatball on the 1, 7, and 16 right now. Trying to poke a little bit from the outside and just making sure that he gets some stacks on the minions together with it. Hasn't really dropped his Molten Core just yet over here, but they're trying to push into the shrine, and it doesn't work. The Blessed Shield is missing too, which means that Lucio survives. They were trying to take him down. That doesn't work, and now there's a massive lead on stacks for Team Arthas. And let's not forget, at the bot lane, the keep has already fallen. That Punisher would go straight in for the core, and uh-oh, they're losing a lot here. Ragnaros goes for the Molten Core on the left and is trying to save them somehow. Baby Houdini and Hat, they're both low. Diablo and Sylvanas are dead, but they get the kill against Cassia. Lucio is dead too. 3 kills against Team Arthas, and Brightwing survives. They still haven't taken this one, by the way. So Stork is trying to at least get the objective, and with the help of Morenas, he should be able to do it. They only need one more hit. One more hit. They're stunned, and Sonya dies. 16-39. They're zoning out Chromie completely. Oh my god. She gets a little bit of damage out, but they still need one. They still need one, but Chromie is dead in the Punisher. They are able to take him. They get the Punisher at least, but they lose everybody else. 13 kills against 8, but the Punisher has been claimed. So the blue team isn't able to push together with it. They prevented the worst. I mean, that would have been the nightmare. The blue team in a lead multiple heroes killed on your side and the Punisher pushing in together with them. So at least they locked this one in, that helped them. But holy hell. That was a little bit rough. I mean, either way, now we got 13 kills to 8. We got a level lead for Inting for Ruby. The red team, of course, they can't really do a whole lot now with the few heroes that they have back up on the map, so they're just trying to take at least some of those camps. And they just get it in time, because Fish and maybe Houdini were already starting to move in and trying to do their thing here. Camp at the top right is now also getting taken. And yeah, the Punisher is, of course, trying to attack the core still, but yeah, it's not happening. A little bit too low. Now, it's all about level 20 now. But Inting for Ruby, they show that they can technically come back into this. But as I said, it doesn't really matter what you can do or how well you perform on the map. It only matters, did you actually win it? And now, Ragnaros, by the way, the only one that hasn't died in the entire game, with a top damage for the team. Heroic difficulty as the level 20 for him. Right wing with the invisible friends, fortified bunker. And there we go, the radiating faith for Jojo. No indestructible here. Now half a level until level 20 for Team Arthas, so they're definitely in range. Next one is all the way up at the top. That's the one that they can go for, so that's what we're gonna see. And well, time to double check what they can do with the level 20 talents now. I mean, a blue team could try and push for the fort in the middle and take that one down at least. They have the wave coming in, they have the 20, so they definitely have the time to take this one. But the red team is already starting to poke a little bit. I'm not quite sure if they're really going to try and make a stand here. I mean, if they take the minion wave down, they should have their own 20, but I think this is going to get poked down one way or another. Inting for Ruby is going to claim it, and here's the 20 finally also for Team Arthas. And with that, we're now getting Hellgate. We got the Bolt of the Storm in. Ignore Pain, so they got their upgrades too. And Denado is sitting at the sides here. Now, he doesn't have a lot of stacks on his baseline. He's sitting at 24 souls. It's not really a whole lot. It's not a lot to work with. Oh, and the tactical 3-3 pause for Mind Talk. Okay. Did they have somebody drop or what's happening over here? It doesn't really seem like it. Now, again, it comes down to the objective up at the top. There's just the next one to come in here. Also, by the way, stacks, Cassia 55. It's not really enough. We're 17 minutes in, 55 stacks at this point. It kind of gets reflected in the damage too. She's sitting at 37,000, which isn't really bad or anything compared to the rest of the players in the game, but it's not really where you want to be at this point. Now, one of the things that will definitely play a bit of a role in the next fight is, of course, also the position here in relation to the two options for Ragnaros to come in and drop the Molten Core. That's going to be pretty huge. And now with them going for a quick rotation at the bottom of the map, they're even trying to poke a bit against the fort, because the bot lane is the biggest concern now for Inting for Ruby. They have not taken the bottom fort of the red team out yet, and they have lost the keep on their own side. Oh, Sonya! They just melted her away. Sonya instantly dies, knocks on Brightwing, gets out, and that is a bad moment to lose a hero. They're losing 2. Oh my god. That should not have happened. Now, that's a minute for Sylvanas to come back. The shrine at the top hasn't been announced yet, and they are all of a sudden pushing for the mid lane. They're pushing for the middle here. They're trying to go for the keep. This is all about Team Arthas trying to defend now. Whatever they talked about in that break, it definitely worked wonders for them. That was an insta-delete on Stalk, Sonya, and then they got Bishops too. Now, the shrine is activating in another 17 seconds. Sylvanas is not going to be back by then. That is a huge problem now for Team Arthas. That was bad timing. Very, very bad timing. And, of course, they can take probably the entire thing. If not, then it's going to be an insane lead. I mean, they didn't even have to, like, drop a lot of ults or anything. I like this move, though. They're trying to force them to retreat. And they're going to try and posture at the bottom of the map to tell them, listen, guys, if you don't Hearthstone back, we are going to go for core. So there's already the Hearthstones. They're going to cancel those until they have vision. Yep, cancel, start, the good old play where you're trying to ensure that you are still able to hold this. But Denado shows in the middle. Sonya's moving in. They have 25 on the lead here. Fish is ready, and they're trying to go for the fight. They were just simply trying to delay them a little bit. That's the entire game plan here. But Catapults are pushing for the core at the bottom. 90 minutes in, catapults are going for the core. Denado with the apocalypse, he's trying to push out. They are going for the kill and they get it. Cassia is dead. Cassia is down, but so is Dibbles. The ragdoll gets blown to pieces. 29 stacks towards the objective, but look at the damage output here. They are all low, and as long as they're waiting out the rogue difficulty, they can make some plays. And down here, 2 catapults on the core as we speak. So that could start to hurt. 19 minutes in, the shield could fall. They're trying to go for the kill. It's a 4 versus 4, baby Houdini, and he dies. They get the Mortar Punisher, but if they now get more kills, they will go and end the game. They go for Ragnaros, and that is the end of him. Sonya, they're starting to move down to the bottom of the map. The core has already lost, well, 1 percentage point, and it's just a question of where do you want to go. It's a little bit of a dangerous path to take towards the core, to be absolutely honest with you, but they have Sylvana, so they're still stopping this. They're trying to go for the fish, and there's the Blessed Shield right in range, but the kill against Jojo. Jojo is down, Brightwing is also dead. They pull it off once again. Oh my god, Team Arthas. Every single time with these turnarounds over here. The Punisher active on the right side. Nobody cares. That one is not going to do enough. This is a 3-0 victory for Team Arthas in our Heroes of the Storm series on the first play day of the Masters Clash against Inting for Ruby. GG.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.